America didn't invent shootings, but they sure seem to happen here more than anywhere else. Here's 10 facts about mass shootings in America that you need to know. Since 1983, there have been at least 62 mass shootings. The three worst in terms of deaths were Newtown, Virginia Tech, and the Luby massacre at 28, 33, and 24 fatalities respectively.
Authorities say Killeen gunman George Hennard was not on drugs, nor did he have a brain tumor. Today, they released the autopsy results of the man responsible for the worst shooting mass murder in U.S. history.
All but one were committed by men. Jennifer San Marco is the sole female perpetrator in the last 30 years of mass shootings. She killed 7 and is known for, quote, going postal. Curiously, she once tried to start a publication entitled The Racist Press and even worked as a police dispatcher at one point.
Why is America 30% white guys and 70% of the shootings in the last many decades have been at the hands of white guys? I'm not saying we should racially profile white guys, but I do think it's interesting to note that had the shooters, had 70% of mass shooters been, say, Arabs or African American men, I think the conversation right now would be a very different conversation where we'd be having a much less nuanced, clear conversation.
The youngest mass killers were 11 and 12-year-old boys. Mitchell Johnson and Andrew Golden were 2 boys who killed 5 girls in Jonesboro, Arkansas, in a school shooting that rocked the nation. They were tried as juveniles and, according to Arkansas state law, could only be held max until they were 18. Their motivation was unclear, but they had spoken of wanting to be Bloods and told people that they, quote, had a lot of killing to do.
A shooting at a middle school in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Now, one of the men responsible is on trial on federal charges of possessing a gun and drug use.
In only 12 mass shootings were weapons obtained illegally. In about 80% of mass shootings, the weapons were purchased legally. For a total of 143 weapons used, about a third of them would be rendered illegal by the assault weapons ban of 2013. But that measure was rejected by the Senate.
It seems that you can get just about anything here.
You can say Glock 40s, 9mm, 38, 25, 357, 223, SKs,
AK,
any kind of semi-automatic, any kind you could possibly name, except for a missile, a grenade.
Over half of mass shooters committed or attempted suicide. While it's up to debate how many of the shooters actually wanted to commit suicide, this is the number that explicitly killed themselves. It's hard to tell for sure because suicide by cop is essentially firefighting with the police and aiming to lose. The most bizarre case was that of Arthur Wise, who tried to kill himself by drinking insecticide. He didn't die, but he was executed 8 years later by lethal injection. Strange motivations include Pantera's breakup, gays in the military, and killing racists. Nathan Gale killed former guitarist of Pantera. He was obsessed with the band and yelled something about their breakup before murdering 4 and being decapitated by a police shotgun blast.
There's nobody been killed on stage, you know? It's also eerily similar to what happened to John Lennon. Same exact day, December 8th, almost the same time, you know? You just can't explain those kind of things, you know? It's something that, I would hope never happens ever again to anybody.
Kenneth Jr. murdered 4 and during the shootings yelled, quote, "I'll show you, Clinton, about letting gays into the army," meaning President Bill Clinton. Clifton McRee, a black man, killed 5 of his white co-workers and said he was glad he did it. Apparently, this was rooted in the fact that he was drug tested and lost his job, while none of the white co-workers were tested. 23 mass shooters killed co-workers or were at their workplace. 3 of the cases were the stereotypical going postal, where a post office employee kills at the post office. Many of the cases involve being fired or other disputes with coworkers. Perhaps strangest is the case of Nathan Dunlap, who killed 4 at his workplace of Chuck E. Cheese at the young age of 19. 10 of the mass shootings happened at schools, universities, colleges, and nursing classrooms, but also an Amish schoolhouse. Charles Roberts shot 10 young girls in a one-room schoolhouse in Pennsylvania. Not one of the shootings was stopped by a civilian with a gun. In every case where a civilian got involved in this manner, they were either gravely injured or killed.
Shootings that left 10 dead in southeastern Alabama, or the 8 who died in Carthage, North Carolina, the 6 dead in Santa Clara, California, and now Binghamton. 4 mass shootings that have taken 38 lives in just 4 weeks' time.
2012 was a record year for mass shootings. While firearm homicide deaths have trended downward over time, mass shootings hit their peak in 2012 with 7 mass shootings and over 140 injured or killed. That's it for now. CHeavy.com for the latest news and information.